My name is Mike Kipneno. I'm the Cooperative Finance Officer with CLEAR program being implemented by Global Communities Kenya. In this session, we're going to look at cooperative annual general meetings. The supreme authority of a cooperative is vested in the general meeting, at which members have the right to attend, participate, and vote on all matters. This is a yearly meeting held within 4 months after the end of a financial year. For a newly registered cooperative, this meeting should be held within a month of receipt of the certificate of registration. In this meeting, members discuss the following. 1. Elections of the cooperative office bearing for the following year. 2. Determine the maximum borrowing power for the cooperative. Consider and approve estimates of income and estimates of expenditure for the following financial year. Appoint financial cooperative bankers. And lastly, receive reports and decide on such matters as may be necessary for the conduct of the cooperative business. A general meeting of a cooperative shall be convened by giving at least 15 days written notice to members. At the annual general meeting, the cooperative members shall consider and confirm minutes of the last general meeting, consider any reports of the subcommittees, consider and adopt audited accounts, determine how any available surplus is to be distributed or invested, carry out elections or fill any vacant positions, determine where necessary the maximum borrowing power of the cooperative, appoint an auditor for the following year, and transact any other general business of the cooperative of which notice has been given to members in a manner prescribed in the bylaws of the cooperative. The quorum of the annual general meeting of any cooperative shall be as laid down in the bylaws. The annual general meeting is a mirror of the cooperative and reflects growth and progress. Here is also where members exercise their ownership, authority, and control of the cooperative. Let's look at the special general meeting. A special general meeting of a cooperative can be convened, 1. by the board of directors to discuss any matters which may arise in the cooperative before the annual general meeting. It can also be convened by the board of directors on receipt of a written notice of such a meeting. If the committee fails to convene a meeting within 15 days of receiving a notice from members, the members demanding the meeting may themselves convene the meeting by giving notice to the other members of the cooperative, stating the objects and reasons for the meeting and the fact that the committee or the board of directors has failed to convene the meeting. The commissioner may at any time convene a special general meeting of a cooperative at which the commissioner may direct matters to be discussed in the meeting. There is no fixed number of special general meetings to be held in a year, and the year depends on the frequency at which urgent issues arise. As much as possible, all important matters should be properly planned for and addressed during the annual general meeting. Looking at the board of directors meeting, every cooperative shall have the board of directors consisting of not less than 5 members and not more than 9 members who shall be elected by members at the general meeting to run the affairs of the cooperative on their behalf. On the election of the chairperson of the cooperative, the members of the board of directors shall elect the chairperson of the cooperative. The board of directors shall be the governing body of the cooperative and shall be, through the order of the general meeting or the bylaws, direct the affairs of the cooperative with powers to 1. Enter into contract, 2. Institute and defend any legal proceedings brought in the name of the cooperative, and do all other things necessary to achieve the objects of the cooperative in accordance with the bylaws. To carry out duties entrusted by the general meeting, the board of directors hold regular meetings. The frequency of the meetings depend on the type of business. Normally, it's held monthly or quarterly. The discussions during the meetings include to consider and confirm minutes of the previous meeting, to discuss and check the accounts of the society, including activities of subcommittee reports, to receive and discuss various reports of the society, to discuss the financial obligation of the society, to discuss any other matters that affect the running of the business of the cooperative, to discuss membership growth, withdrawal, and staff matters. Let's look at different subcommittees. When board of directors find that some matters need more detailed work, subcommittees are constituted from among the elected members of the board of directors. Such subcommittees have only delegated powers and must report back to the board of directors on their work. The number of subcommittees and the frequency of subcommittee meetings are dictated by the volume and the nature of the business. All meetings should have meeting schedules prepared and approved by the full board of directors. This will assist in proper planning and budget allocation. Subcommittees should normally meet earlier and present their reports to the full board of directors. Ad hoc committees. These may be formed to address specific tasks, and they will cease to exist once the work assigned to them is accomplished. Joint meetings. The board of directors and the supervisory committee are expected to hold joint meetings quarterly. This is after the supervisory committee has compiled its reports. The supervisory committee should present its report to the board of directors for discussion. After presenting the report, the board of directors should be left to make decision on how to address issues raised and not yet addressed. The manager of the cooperative shall attend all meetings and offer advice on technical and professional matters. Looking at essential elements of an effective, valid meetings, the following requirements must be observed. There must be a notice to members. In a case of a general meeting, there must be a 15-day written notice to members. The notice should indicate the nature of the meeting, the date of the meeting, the place of the meeting, the time of the meeting, the agenda of the meeting. The notice should be by the person authorized to give notice. The notice of the meeting shall be read and adopted during the meeting. There must be a quorum, that is, the minimum number of members to form a meeting. The meeting must be chaired by the person authorized to do so by law, which is usually the chairperson or the vice chairperson in the absentia of the chairperson. In case of the absence of the chairperson and the vice chairperson, it shall be conducted by the person elected by the majority. Voting must be carried out in a democratic manner and in accordance with the bylaws of the cooperative. The chairperson must control the meeting and act in the best interest of the cooperative. After each discussion, the chairperson must read out the decision arrived at, which are the resolutions, to enable the secretary to enter a proper record. The meeting should identify who to act, give timelines on the actions, identify and allocate required resources for implementation. Minutes of the meeting must be presented for reference purpose. Minutes are a summary of the main points discussed and arrived at during a meeting. Minutes are valid once they have been read and signed by the chairperson and the secretary on behalf of the members who attended the meeting.